My Hero Academia is a show about a green-haired, freckle-having loser named Izuku Midoriya. He lives in a world where 80% of humanity has developed superpowers straight out of comic books called quirks. Some people get blessed with cool quirks that grant them godlike command of the elements like fire or wind, and other people get quirks like tail. And this fucking kid that pulls his eyeballs out of his head. What is happening here? Midoriya wants to be a pro hero since in this world that is an actual career path. But unfortunately, he received some devastating news when he was just 4 years old. Mrs. Midoriya, I'm afraid there's something wrong with your son. Oh no, what do you mean? How much time you got? Turns out, Midoriya is part of the 20% of humanity that are born quirkless. So the other kids in his class bully him over it, call him names like loser, weakling, and Deku. Chief among his bullies is his childhood friend named Katsuki Bakugo. His quirk is Explosion, which allows Bakugo to create explosions by igniting the nitroglycerin-like sweat on his hands. And since he can make explosions whenever he wants, I assume that means his hands are always sweaty and clammy as fuck. Bakugo relentlessly bullies Midoriya every single day for years. Why? Because when they were kids, Bakugo accidentally fell into a small river and Midoriya tried to help him up one time. Yeah, there's nothing else to it, that's literally it. Apparently, that was enough for Bakugo to fucking snap and go Super Saiyan 2 over it. Here's how a typical interaction between the two of them goes down. Hey, Kachan, wanna hang out after school? Kachan?
Kill yourself.
On his way home from school, Midoriya is attacked by a villain slime monster, but before he gets killed, he's saved by All Might, the current #1 hero, Deku's idol, and the only person in this show that is drawn like he comes from American comic books. Midoriya winds up accidentally seeing All Might's true form, which is this skinny Soul Eater looking thing. It turns out, All Might sustained a major injury from a previous battle, and now can only maintain his hero muscle form for a few hours a day. But the public doesn't know that. Midoriya promises not to tell anyone All Might's secret, but Midoriya musters up the courage to ask All Might if he thinks he can be a hero without a quirk. All Might, the #1 hero and the master at putting a smile on people's faces, says, fucking no? What kind of idiot thinks they can be a hero without a quirk? Midoriya leaves all dejected, but he sees that same slime villain from before attacking another person. Turns out the person being attacked was Bakugo, and Midoriya knows that if he tries to help, it would be suicide. All Might is actually in the area, and he sees this happening, but because he's already hit his daily hero limit, he can no longer help even if he wanted to. The clock is ticking, Bakugo is slowly dying until... Midoriya springs into action without thinking and he throws a mighty punch that... Deku, you're useless. But even though Midoriya couldn't do anything, his actions inspire All Might to push past his limits and defeat the slime villain again with a... The day is saved and All Might visits Midoriya at his house telling him the words he's always wanted to hear. Young man, you can be a hero. All you have to do is eat my hair. Wait, what? All Might, I don't feel any different. All you did was hand me this loaded gun. Young Midoriya, when the time comes, you'll know what to do with that. Turns out, All Might's quirk is called One for All, a quirk that allows one to stockpile power and then pass it on from person to person, gaining more strength over time. With a new quirk in hand, Midoriya applies to UA High School, the #1 school in Japan for training heroes. He meets a cute girl named Ochako, and like a smooth operator... he falls flat on his face. He just like me, for real, for real. She tells him that she likes the name Deku, and Midoriya decides to reclaim the name as his superhero name instead of the slur that Bakugo was using it as. That's our word, you can't use it like that! In order to attend UA High School, he first must pass the entrance exam. The exam consists of defeating a bunch of robots for a high score. Deku is struggling to get a single point until he sees that cute girl from before trapped under some rubble. And Deku has his very first badass moment. I gotta save that girl! Damn it! Everyone is extremely impressed and so many girls were watching. But Deku's body currently cannot handle One For All's power. So every time he uses it, his arms and legs break and crumble apart like your parents' marriage. Regardless, Deku's heroic display gives him a gold star and allows him to be accepted into UA High School. We are then introduced to Class 1A. Essentially, these are the main characters we will be following for the rest of the story. Might as well talk about them right now because the author will forget 75% of them exist by the end of the story. Of the 20 students, over half of them get to do fuck all, half the remaining are pretty cool but fall into obscurity around the halfway point of the story, and finally leaving the only characters that matter, the top 3 hero boys who are basically the first, second, and third protagonists. I should also mention the homeroom teacher Aizawa. He's the cool, serious, powerful mentor type that has one of the most useful quirks in the entire show, which allows him to cancel out his opponent's quirk just by looking at them, and then he just beats the shit out of them like a normal person. After a quick physical fitness test to measure their quirks, Deku manages to use his quirk to throw a baseball into space without breaking his arm. Instead, he just broke one finger. Next, Class 1A are split up into teams and have to play heroes and villains. Of course, Deku gets pit against Bakugo. But now that Deku has powers of his own, it's time to finally stand up to Bakugo and show him once and for all he is not the same weakling as before. Deku's team manages to win.
Bomb has been defused.
Bakugo is scolded by All Might for acting like an arrogant jerk to everyone, and it's this reality check where Bakugo finally stops being the world's biggest asshole, and instead mellows out into just a regular asshole. Then, UA decides to have some training for the kids at USJ. Before they can get started, however, they are ambushed by the League of Villains, a group of dastardly ruffians that just want to watch the world burn because the main bad guy read half a comic book or something. I don't know, fuck you. The League is actually pretty small at first, with only 3 core members: Kurogiri, a shadow dude that can teleport stuff with his portals, this bird-looking freak named Nomu, and finally Shigaraki. Shigaraki is the leader of the League of Villains, and he's also covered in hands. Don't forget, Shigaraki is also a gamer, so he likes to use gamer lingo like,
I am not the final boss. Back to the title screen. Looks like our game's getting a continue. It's game over for real.
and when he's really upset, he uses the ultimate gaming word nit. Well, heroes. Looks like the situation's gotten out of hand. Now where's All Might? So Nomu here can hand him his own ass. All Might's not here. Oh damn, really? Yeah man, sorry. Fuck. Deku gets stranded on a boat with Frog Girl and Mineta. Of course, since this is like their second day of hero school, they are woefully unprepared and they start to panic. Okay, we're surrounded. We have me, who can't use his quirk without breaking his limbs, and then we have... Oh god, we're gonna die. Oh, I wish All Might was here. He would know what to do in this situation. Young Midoriya, when the time comes, you'll know what to do with that. Holy shit! Okay, well I gotta hand it to you. You're better than I thought. But you haven't even begun to grasp the depths of my master plan. Yeah! Mother... Okay, you know what? Screw this. Let's get out of here. The bad guys make their escape, but not before All Might shows up and punches the shit out of that bird fella while somehow managing to double the amount of syllables in the word plus ultra. The next major arc is the Sports Festival, a big event that showcases all the UA students' abilities and quirks to hero agencies for a potential job opportunity after graduation. There's a bunch of games and stuff, but it ultimately boils down to a tournament arc. Here are some of the highlights of the fights. Ochako versus Bakugo, which actually isn't the curb stomp you'd think it'd be. I mean, yes, Bakugo does eventually beat the brakes off her, but at least Ochako actually gets to hold her own for a while, and this is the coolest she gets to be in the whole series before she kinda just turns into the love interest and does nothing from now on. Then we have Deku versus Shinso. And before the match, Deku gets some advice on how to deal with his quirk from the forgettable tail guy. Now remember Deku, this guy's quirk lets him brainwash you only if you respond to him. So no matter what he says to you, do not respond. Okay, I got it. Loser says what? What? Damn it! I guess now is a good time to mention that during this arc we are introduced to Shoto Todoroki. He's been effortlessly winning the festival events through his super strong ice quirk. Technically, his quirk gives him the power of ice and fire. However, he refuses to use his fire powers because he inherited it from his father, Endeavor, who is also the rank number 2 hero. Shoto absolutely hates his father. Why? Well, you see, Endeavor was obsessed with being better than All Might, the number 1 hero. But when he realized he could never beat him, he tried to make a child with a strong enough quirk to do it. Okay, but what did Endeavor do that was so bad? Well, it says here that Endeavor beats his kids. Oh my god, at Mario Kart. Oh. Well, that doesn't sound too bad. Wait, sorry, he beats his kids with Mario Kart. I'll teach you to hit me with a blue shell! No, Daddy Yamate! Blah blah blah, long story short, Shoto's mom was driven insane from all the abuse she and the family endured from Endeavor, and she throws boiling hot water on Shoto's face, giving him the Prince Zuko special. Shoto blames Endeavor for this and wants to prove he can be a hero with just his mom's ice quirk. Trust me, this family drama is extremely important later, so I'm explaining it now. We finally get Deku versus Shoto. Now listen here, I'm just gonna beat you with my ice quirk, and there is no way you are ever gonna convince me to use my fire. Deku loses the fight, but he manages to get Shoto to use his fire, which makes Endeavor really happy. I just really like the way he says that, it's pretty funny. The final match is between Bakugo and Shoto, but Shoto still doesn't want to use his fire, so he tries to fight without it, and Bakugo hits him with the... And that's the end of the school festival. Bakugo, Shoto, and Tokoyami are the top 3 winners. It's also the end of Shoto being an edgy, I hate you dad type character, and instead transforms into a boring ass cardboard cutout of unsalted crackers. From here, due to their performance at the school festival, Class 1A has started receiving opportunities to work alongside heroes in the exciting world of unpaid internships. These internships answer the fanbase's most burning questions like, what if we put the cute frog girl in a sailor suit? Or, what if we gave Bakugo a low taper fade? While all this is going on, a new villain emerges named Stain, and he says,
"Everybody betrayed me. I fed up with this world."
You see, he believes that heroes of today are a bunch of fake-ass posers that are only in it for the fame and money. So his solution to this problem is to hunt down the heroes he deems unworthy and fucking kill them. One of the heroes he hunts is Ida's big brother, Ingenium, and he puts him in the hospital. And that makes Ida big mad, and he says, "Ha! That's no good." Except he didn't really say it like that, he said it more like, "I'll fucking kill him!" So Ida decides to take his internship in the same city as Stain in order to get his revenge. Luckily, Ida winds up running into Stain on his first night. "There you are, you bastard! This is for my brother! Yeah!" Shoto and Deku arrive on the scene. Well, heroes. Came to get slaughtered just like your friends? Who? Just be warned, I've been trained in over 600 forms of martial arts, and even 1 martial crafts. Pair that with my invincible quirk, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. Oh hey, the paralysis wore off. Now boys, as your class president, I have to tell you, you can't just beat on a villain like that without me, I'll fucking kill you! The day is saved, but before everyone goes back home, Stain manages to get back up and deliver his message to the world. A message so powerful and charismatic it throws a wrench into hero society and inspires a new wave of villains and dissatisfaction with the status quo.
I'm not a big fan of the government. 30 on 30. I'm not a big fan of the government. 30 on 30. I'm not a big fan of the government.
This message totally works, and the League of Villains gets a bunch of new members like Himiko Toga, a character the fanbase likes to pretend is complex and morally gray and not completely insane, but in reality she gets a pass because she's got that crazy hot thing going on, and also people ship her with Ochako. And Dabi, a cool looking fire user that is definitely not related to Endeavor. He's also probably the best written villain on this show. We also have other villains like Twice, who is one of the only 2 sympathetic villains on the crew. And then we have Mr. Compress and Spinner, who are so boring and inconsequential to the story they might as well be red shirts. From here, the school decides it's time to have a training camp in the middle of the forest to level up the students' quirks to become even more powerful. While there, they meet a young boy named Kota, whose parents were killed by a villain. Deku goes over to introduce himself. "Hey Kota, my name's Deku. It's nice to meet you." It does not go well. A few days of training pass and Aizawa has some special instructions for them. "Okay, you kids keep working on your quirks. I'm gonna go get some sleep. Do not disturb me unless it is an absolute emergency. Got it?" "Yes, sensei." "Mr. Aizawa sensei, I've been rock hard for over 4 hours. What should I do?" "Go see the nurse, Kurishima." "Okay, sensei, thank you. I love you." Mr. Aizawa-sensei, I can't see! Just open your eyes, Kaminari. Oh, thanks, Sensei. I love you. Sensei! The League of Villains found us and they're attacking! What should we do? Go away and deal with it yourself. You got it, Sensei. I love you. Yes, the League of Villains somehow manages to find them in the middle of nowhere and begins attacking. Deku runs off to go save Kota, who's being attacked by Muscular, the villain who killed Kota's parents in the first place. Using his new full cowling technique, he charges at Muscular with everything he has. It does not go well. Deku is about to be smushed to death, but then Kota hits him with the... This gives Deku the opening he needs to pull every last bit of strength out of his ass and hit him with the... Back at camp, the villains make a huge mess of things and manage to kidnap Bakugo. Back at the League of Villains hideout. So, Bakugo, first let me apologize for getting so handsy with you. I was actually gonna ask you if you'd like to take my hand and join our merry band of villains. Yeah, I'll pass. Nice choice in facial accessory, by the way. If I had to live as you, I'd be facepalming all the time, too. Ooh, a backhanded compliment. My favorite. Kurogiri, why don't you serve our friend here to calm his nerves? Right away, sir.
And forever they will see that name in history.
I meant serve him a drink, you jackass! Just then, All Might and the police swarm the hideout. The League are about to get captured, but then they get warped away by a third party. This third party is the mysterious master of Shigaraki, and he reveals himself as All for One, the ultimate evil and the main antagonist of the series. His quirk is All for One, and yes, it is stupid and confusing that his villain name is also his quirk name. You don't call All Might One for All. Also, if you haven't noticed, the entire plot of My Hero Academia can be summarized like this.
All for one!
And one for all.
All for one!
And one for all.
So what exactly makes All for One so powerful? Well, he has the ability to steal and transfer quirks if he touches you. For example, if he stole Bakugo's explosion quirk, he would also have extremely sweaty hands. One for All can also use multiple quirks at once, and his body even mutates to fit whatever quirk he's using to the point where it looks like me when I discovered Rule 34 for the first time. There is how much porn of Shell from El Dorado? So with all that out of the way, All for One confronts All Might and they begin their epic rematch. It is then where All for One reveals to All Might his master plan, something he's been cooking up for years and years.
I am going to commit great crime. I'm going to bust nut in Water Tower. United stay
All Might manages to defeat All for One, but he used up every last bit of his remaining One for All embers. So now he's forced to retire and he is permanently in his skinny form from now on. Next is your turn. Next is my turn.
Probably not you specifically. I think it's a metaphor.
Shigaraki loses his master and becomes the de facto leader of the League of Villains. There's a nice parallel between both of the masters being put out of commission and their proteges taking up their mantles as the symbol of peace and the symbol of being a piece of shit. Nailed it. Deku decides he doesn't want to keep emulating All Might and destroying his arms, and instead decides to use his legs, which he calls full cowling shoot style. You see, it's called shoot style because he... Oh my god! Mineta got shot! Somebody call the nurse! Anyone call the nurse? What comes next is Bakugo inviting Deku out in the middle of the night to talk. Bakugo figures out Deku's dirty little secret and demands that Deku prove to him why All Might chose him as the successor by fighting him 1v1.
Prepare yourself for an unmerciless beating, five-roll shoe! Shablaka! Have you ever experienced the almighty three-shoe beating? Take this!
Bakugo manages to come out on top, as well as looking like a top. Good god, look at that. All Might decides there's no point in keeping the secret of One for All from Bakugo and tells him everything. We are then introduced to the top 3 of UA High School. We have Lemillion, who is one of the best characters in this entire show, Sun Eater, this Sasuke-looking dude who's super depressed and is about one insult away from ending it all, and finally Girl, whose greatest accomplishment in the series is winning a beauty pageant and losing every fight she's in. Speaking of women, I gotta say, most of the female cast in My Hero Academia gets shafted pretty hard. Sure, they start off pretty strong and well written, like Ochako in the sports festival, but over time they don't get to do a whole lot compared to what the men get to do. The girls are mostly there to be shipped with the boys and to fulfill whatever Rule 34 tag you're into, and good God, is there a lot of Rule 34. We got the nice sweet female lead in a skin-tight bodysuit, the tomboy looking alien chick in a skin-tight bodysuit that can generate her own lube infinitely, the conservative class president rich girl with huge honkin' tits, the invisible girl that is literally always naked until she's not, a sexy dominatrix that's allowed to teach high school children, a hot blonde that can grow to the size of a giant, imagine how that must feel when you're getting rescued, a hot blue-skinned short-haired girl that shows off some serious midriff, a girl dressed in full skin-tight leather and has huge tits, the yandere I can fix her schoolgirl type, and a dark-skinned, muscular tomboy bunny girl. Ooh, that was a 4-for-1 deal. Got me looking like all for one, you know what I'm saying? I got a built-in goon quirk, you know what I'm saying? I'm jorking my peanuts, you know what I'm saying? Class 1A meets the big three, and Lemillion challenges all of them to a 1v20 fight before he falls through the floor due to his quirk. Where do you think he goes when he does that? I don't know, probably somewhere boring. Deku wants to take a work study with All Might's former sidekick Sir Night-Eye, and it turns out Lemillion is already working for him. So Lemillion agrees to introduce Deku, but first tells him that Sir Night-Eye values humor. So if Deku can make him laugh, he's a shoo-in. Sir Night-Eye? Would it be All Might if I joined your team? Was that supposed to be funny? Weird. That always used to make my dad laugh before he left me and my mom and never came back home. Night-Eye accepts Deku on the team, and his first order of business is letting Deku know that they are conducting a secret investigation on the Yakuza, led by a young man named Chisaki, aka Overhaul. Deku and Lemillion go out on patrol, and a little girl runs out of an alleyway and bumps into Deku. The little girl is covered in bandages and looks scared and says, "You gotta get me the fuck out of here, bro. I can't go back to that shithole. They're giving me shit food and ugly-ass off-brand toys like Borby." Feminism is alright, I guess. A man comes out of the alleyway to collect the girl, and it turns out to be none other than Overhaul. Overhaul says that this is his daughter, Eri, and he takes her back, promising to get her a new Barbie doll. No! Afterwards, Overhaul meets with Shigaraki and the League of Villains for a business proposition. Man, this place is a dump! This is your house. I hear that you Yakuza want a helping hand from the League of Villains. Yes, with our manpower and your influence, we could be the new rulers of the underworld. Sounds a little far-fetched. You got some kind of plan to go with all that ambition? We aren't giving free handouts, you know. Stop doing that. And if you must know, we have these special bullets that can permanently erase someone's quirk. If we control the supply and demand of these bullets, we could destroy all of hero society with this. Perfect. I love it. No notes. Let's shake on it. What the hell's wrong with him? It's faster if you stop asking why. The heroes arrive at the hideout, and since Lemillion has the ability to phase through things, he manages to get to Overhaul first. Overhaul tries to kill Lemillion by touching him, but... What the? Ah, crap. Lemillion slaps Overhaul across both ass cheeks, but unfortunately, using some dastardly tricks, Overhaul permanently destroys Lemillion's quirk. Deku, Night-Eye, and Aizawa all finally show up to help. Night-Eye winds up getting impaled on a spike created by Overhaul. This was the horrible future I saw. Get out while you still can, kids. Sir Night-Eye, you can't die! I can't lose another father figure in my life. Deku, stop, it hurts to laugh. Come on, this is serious. All hope seems lost, but Eri's powers awaken right then and there. Turns out, Eri's quirk is the power to rewind.
Yeah, it's rewind time.
Normally this would be a bad thing, but while Eri's power is active, Deku is able to access 100% of One For All constantly. With cheat mode enabled, Deku confronts Overhaul at 100%.
Holy mackerel! Must Ralph beat some sense into that overcooked noodle that you call a head? Shablaka!
After Deku absolutely decimates Overhaul, the fight is over. However, Eri's powers are still out of control. Hey Eri, do you think you can turn off your powers now? Listen here, bitch. I don't tell you how to throw a punch. You don't tell me how to use my fucking horn thing. Oh, okay. Sorry to bother you. I'll just lie down here for a second. Also, Overhaul is found by the League of Villains and they mock him for losing like a bitch. Well, 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 I bet you regret calling my place a dump now, huh? You said that. I just want you to know that your quirk erasing bullets are in good hands now. Just kill me already. What? I don't want to kill you. I just want to disarm you. Get it? Disarm. Do you get it? Things go back to normal. You know, besides Lemillion losing his quirk permanently and Night-Eye fucking dying. And school activities resume. The school festival is coming up, and Class 1A is trying to figure out what event they should host. Haunted house, maid cafe, soba stand, strip club. Why don't we do a live music concert? Yeah! Meanwhile, a new villain is introduced, Gentle Criminal. He's a thief that records his heists and uploads them onto YouTube. Gentle is bummed out he isn't getting as many views as he thinks he should. But then Gentle gets an idea. An awful idea. A wonderful, awful idea. He decides to break into UA High School since the security has been turned up so high from all the recent villain attacks. If he can pull it off, people will have no choice but to acknowledge his Phantom Thief skills. Fast forward to the day of the show, Gentle Criminal prepares for the big day, and his usual ritual before a heist means that he has to drink a super rare and expensive tea, because he's so painfully British. Oh my god, La Brava. This isn't tea at all, this is... Today's sponsor, GamerSups! That's right, your boy got his very first sponsorship. GamerSups is the only energy drink I trust to give me the boost I need to break into a bank unseen, make my way all the way to the vault, make a critical mistake and trip the laser security defense system, have the cops called on us, have to improvise and take hostages, shoot one of the hostages in the leg to show that I'm serious, throw up in the bathroom because I've never shot a gun before, drink some more GamerSups, and finally make a speedy getaway in a self-driving car La Brava managed to hack. GamerSups made all that possible! Every flavor I've tried is delicious, yes, including flavors like lean or anime girl thigh. Yes, those are the real names, it's hilarious. My personal favorite is Goof Juice by One Moist Critical. Yes, quite. Woo! It's got 100 milligrams of caffeine, no sugar, no fillers, no calories, and it's even keto and diabetic friendly. And if you use my code WARIO, you get 10% off your entire order. And with every purchase using my code, you are helping keep this channel afloat so I can continue to make more videos like this one. Link is in the description down below. Get your tub of GamerSups today. Now where were we? Oh yes. On his way back from buying clothes at the soup store,
Why are you buying clothes at the soup store?
Deku accidentally bumps into Gentle Criminal. He notices Gentle carrying a bag with a $sign on it and figures out that Gentle is planning on breaking into the UA High School. However, if he were to break into UA, the school will be put on lockdown, and the live show everyone's worked so hard on would be for nothing, and poor little Eri might never smile again. Deku is determined to stop Gentle, so he tells him to turn himself in, otherwise they're gonna have to throw hands. Gentle Criminal, who is at the end of his rope, doubles down on the heist and tells Deku he's not backing down. La Brava, roll the cameras. What's up, my thugs and or criminals? I'm about to pull off the world's greatest heist, and the first step to making that happen is to fist fight this child. But before we get started, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. wariobroszyt, yes, this one, the one you are actually watching right now. Click the subscribe button right now, all the cool kids are doing it. Also happy to announce that I now have a Patreon. It's brand new, and there are really cool exclusive stuff on there you won't be able to get on YouTube, like this picture of Bakugo and Deku kissing. All the links are down below. So, are we gonna fight, or... Shut up, kid! I'm trying to make my bag! Look, man, I don't want to hurt you. Hurt me? But you're a child! What could you possibly do to me? I'll, like, flick air at you really hard with my new move, Air Force. Oh no, you're going to flick air at me? I don't know if I can handle air. Oh, whatever will I do? Ah! Okay, yeah, I'll turn myself in. Gentle and La Brava get arrested, and Deku makes it back to the concert on time, but he was so busy fighting Gentle, he completely forgot his choreography. Don't just stand there, you idiot! Do something! The concert works and we see Eri smiling again. All is well in the world. Okay, so now the story takes a break from the heroes and chooses only to follow the villains for a while in My Villain Academia. The arc begins and it turns out the villains are broke and are just sitting around watching TV. But just then, they are contacted by Dr. Doofenshmirtz, who tells them he is the leader of the Meta Liberation Army. The Liberation Army thinks that the League of Villains is bad for business, so he invites them to his city to have a final showdown. The League agrees and they arrive at the city, but it turns out the entire city is working for Doofenshmirtz Doofenshmirtz, and they bum rush the league. Things are looking really bad for the league until... Now that Twice knows that he's the original, he can use his quirk without fear and summons an infinite number of Twice clones. This instantly turns the tide of the battle, and now the League of Villains have their own army to fight a city's worth of people. Shigaraki finally manages to catch up to Doofenshmirtz, and they have a battle of wits. There's no escape, Doofenshmirtz. I caught you red-handed. Shigaraki, always... I can't do the voice. Shigaraki, always sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. Oh god, now there's two of them. I just want the world to be free to use their quirks as they see fit. But you thugs only know how to destroy. You'd rather cut off your nose to spite your face. This is actually my hell. You know, seeing how your dream is about to slip through your fingers, I figured you'd be more angry. That's my secret, boy. I'm always angry. Shigaraki gets his ass handed to him. And while this is happening, we get a flashback finally explaining his origin story. Shigaraki's real name is Tenko Shimura, and he was just a normal boy that wanted to be a hero like his grandma Nana. The problem is, Tenko's father hates Nana, his own mother, for being a hero, since she died trying to fight All for One and left him all alone. So he took his mommy issues and he made it everybody else's problem. Every time Tenko mentioned superheroes, his father would make him take a seat. To the face. One day, Tenko's dad takes it too far and hits Tenko with a raging demon.
You have a long way to go.
Tenko runs off to the garden to cry, but unfortunately, Tenko's powers of decay manifests right then and there. So when Tenko touches his family, they all begin to die one after the other.
Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it.
Tenko didn't mean to kill his family, and the only one left was his dad. Tenko begs his father for help, and the father reaches out the only way he knows how. But this is the final straw for Tenko, and he leaps on top of his father. Hey, Dad! Talk to the hand! Tenko, now a Giga orphan, gets found by All for One and Dr. Robotnik. They tell Tenko that they preserved the hands of his murdered family, and that if he wears them, he can feel close to them as well as keep his burning hatred alive. But his mental state is, how you say, not so good. Wearing his family to keep his hatred alive was a great idea, but I'm afraid there's something wrong with Tenko. Why? What do you mean? How much time you got? Tenko is given a new name, and thus, Shigaraki was born. Back to the present, Shigaraki's powers awaken to a new level, and he lets out a decay so powerful it destroys the entire planet. Nah, I'm just kidding, but it does level the entire city. Doofenshmirtz had to chop off his own feet in order to survive the decay. These hands are no longer necessary for my rage. In fact, I don't even need to use hand puns anymore. Oh, thank God. Well. It looks like the real leader of the Liberation Army was right under my nose the entire time. God damn it. The Meta Liberation Army is yours to command. Okay. So the League of Villains just got a massive boost in numbers, resources, and legitimate connections. They now became known as the Paranormal Liberation Front. Dr. Robotnik also makes good on his promise to the League and powers up Shigaraki even more, a process which will take 4 months to complete. This marks the end of My Villain Academia. Time passes and the day arrives for the heroes to launch a full-scale assault on the villains' HQ, which was located in the hospital. Dr. Robotnik is working his day job like usual when the heroes kick the door down. Yeah, what's up, Doc? He's getting away. Ah, shit, right. Bunny Girl chases Robotnik down to his evil lair, and we can see all the other high-end Nomus and experiments he's been working on, including Shigaraki. Alright, creep, prepare to get your wrinkly ass kicked. I didn't want to have to do this, but you leave me no choice. I'll fight you myself. Psh, please, what's an old fart like you gonna do? Kame. Bunny Bunny Girl gets fucked up, but she still has enough energy for one last attack, and she breaks open the vat that was holding Shigaraki's body. But even though he didn't complete the full 4 months to finish his power-up, Shigaraki still manages to get up and... Shigaraki is new and improved. Not only is he physically almost as strong as All Might, but he also has All for One. The quirk, not the guy, he's still in prison. Meaning the hundreds of quirks that All for One had access to now belong to Shigaraki. Other heroes keep trying to attack Shigaraki, but he's way too strong, and their shirts are way too red to do anything about it. Deku says, fuck it, and decides to use 100% of One for All to beat the ever-living shit out of Shigaraki. This beatdown actually seems to be working, but Shigaraki gets the drop on Deku and grabs him by the face and tries to steal One for All. We get a view inside the Vestiges/Quirk world and see that All for One is growing out of Shigaraki like a cancer, trying to take control of his body. So yeah, it's here we learn that All for One's quirk is kind of like a Horcrux from Harry Potter, and the quirk acts like a piece of All for One's soul that's still alive. All for One says, "Give me that quirk, fucko," paraphrasing of course, and tries to take it from Deku. However, it doesn't work since Shigaraki's body was awakened early thanks to Bunny Girl, meaning he's still incomplete and he's unable to steal One for All. Just then, the League of Villains shows up and Dabi decides to make an announcement in front of the whole world. "My real name is Toya Todoroki, and I am Endeavor's son!" Everyone already knew that. Dabi reveals to the public via the internet and television that Endeavor was a terrible father. What with all the abuse and the beating with the Mario Kart, Dabi even uses footage of Hawks killing Twice to paint all heroes in a bad light. Oh yeah, Twice is fucking dead by the way. See, Dabi's entire character, his entire reason for existence is having daddy issues and trying to make Endeavor's life a living hell. Dabi is about to do a big fire attack against Endeavor, but gets interrupted by Death Genist, the number 3 hero with the power to control genes. Genes? You know genes aren't fireproof, right? What could you possibly do to me? You win this round. The villains decide to cut their losses and retreat. Deku vows not only to stop All for One, but also to save Tenko, since he looked like he needed saving from All for One back in the Vestiges world. In the aftermath of the war, we see that all of Japan has turned into New Jersey. All for One, who is now controlling Shigaraki's body, breaks into Tartarus, the maximum security prison where the original All for One is being held, and frees him. So now there are 2 All for Ones running around, along with a bunch of super dangerous escaped criminals, including people like Muscular and Stain. The public has completely lost faith in superheroes and has turned to a life of driving around the city in giant cars, with a guy playing a flamethrower guitar just to make ends meet. Back with the heroes, they mourn the loss of their one dead comrade that mattered and lick their wounds. Also, thanks to Shigaraki trying to steal his quirk, Deku now has the ability to speak to all the previous users of One for All. Yeah, I didn't mention this before, but it turns out Deku has been slowly unlocking the quirks of the previous users of One for All one by one. So far, he's unlocked Black Whip and Float by total accident. But now that Deku can speak to the previous users directly, they just straight up tell Deku how to use their quirks. Deku instantly masters the rest of them off screen. Cool, great, didn't want to see that whole process or anything. Cool. Here's a quick list of Deku's new abilities. Wait, I'm sorry, that just seems to be a picture of Spider-Man. Let's just get that out of the way. Okay, now I believe that is a picture of Dom Toretto from the Fast and the Furious using a gear shift. Well, there you go, that pretty much covers everything. With all of Japan in complete chaos and Deku being aware that there's a massive target on his back, Deku decides to drop out of UA High School to protect his friends, and to strike out on his own as a vigilante. He dons a new badass look and a new badass attitude, and enters his Shadow the Hedgehog era as Dark Hero Deku. And it's over. The Dark Hero thing only lasts like 5 episodes before he's back to the bland milquetoast nice guy protagonist. Fuck everything, man. They introduced this extremely cool look and concept just to throw it away immediately. They even managed to make that dorky bunny mask to keep off him 99% of the time look cool. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is looking at Japan and being like, meh, All for One is too strong, let's hide here. But America's number 1 hero says fuck that and charges headfirst to Japan, screaming, Here we are introduced to Star and Stripe, who happens to be my favorite female character in this godforsaken show. She has an awesome design, a cool personality, and arguably the most powerful quirk in the entire show. And also she's really hot. Star and Shigaraki confront each other in the sky, and they get ready for an epic showdown with the fate of the world. I can't believe this. Star and Stripe dies as quickly as she is introduced, which is a whopping 2 episodes. This fight is some horseshit too, because Star and Stripe had All For One dead to rights like 3 different times with how insanely broken and powerful she is. But because the story would be over, she succeeded, the plot armor quirk strikes again. Star only serves as the ultimate jobber to show off how powerful the final boss is. If Star, with her godlike abilities, couldn't beat All For One, what the fuck are Class 1A and the other heroes supposed to even do? But no time to think about it, because the final battle is starting right now. There are tons of red shirts on both the villains and good guy sides. The 5 core League members each get separated into a different part of Japan for their respective final battles. The red shirts try to stop Shigaraki, but he keeps swatting them away like the nameless red shirt flies they are. Bakugo steps up and equips an entire tank to himself and blasts Shigaraki with the... But of course, it barely does any lasting damage to Shigaraki, thank you Hyper Regeneration, and Shigaraki does a big attack, piercing Bakugo's chest and destroying his heart, killing Bakugo. I'm not kidding either, they actually kill Bakugo here, look at him. Gotta say, it's pretty ballsy to kill off the secondary protagonist and the #1 most popular character like this. Is what I would have said if it wasn't for the ninja guy that appeared like twice in the entire show, comes in and repairs Bakugo's heart with an ass pull no jutsu. But he looks pretty dead still, so this heart thing might not even work. We'll check back later. Okay, let's take a break from the Shigaraki fight and focus on all the other battles first. For the sake of clarity, I'm just gonna break it down by each major fight in its entirety rather than shifting focus constantly like it does in the actual story. First up is Spinner. Spinner was given 2 additional quirks by All For One and is now a dumb hulking monster. The author somehow managed to make Spinner even less of a character, which is impressive. They also try to push this X-Men discrimination racism plot thing and it just falls so flat. Apparently, heteromorphs, aka people that look like animals or less than human, are treated poorly in society. The problem is this heteromorph discrimination was barely mentioned during the series. Plus, there are plenty of UA heroes that are heteromorphs and they get treated like anyone else in the universe. A universe, may I remind you, where everyone is a superpowered freak like this fucking kid that pulls his eyeballs out of his head. Seriously, what is going on here? This plotline works in X-Men because most of the population are non-mutants, so they fear and discriminate against the small minority of people that do have superpowers and are walking talking nuclear bombs. In My Hero Academia, practically everyone is super. So not only is this X-Men style plotline poorly implemented, it doesn't even work in the context of the show itself. Whatever, the point is Spinner sucks and I hate him. Spinner manages to make it to the hospital where they were keeping Kurogiri and sets him free, allowing the villains to be teleported to each other. Next up, we have Toga. Toga fully descends into villainy and drinks the last vial of Twice's blood, allowing her to transform into him and... A massive flood of Twice clones starts flooding every battlefield, and Ochako does a talk no jutsu to Toga about love and boys. But before she's fully convinced, Toga fatally stabs Ochako. Fatally stabs? Does that mean Ochako's gonna die? Please consult the chart. The talk no jutsu finally works, and Toga decides to open up to Ochako, and they share their most famous scene together. Do you think my smile is cute? Domain expansion. The Twice clones disappears and Toga sees Ochako is gonna die from blood loss, so she transforms into her and transfers all of her blood into Ochako, saving her life but also killing herself in the process. And no fake out here, folks, Toga actually dies here. Ah, Chart, you never let me down. Okay, so this is the conclusion of all the Todoroki family drama. Shoto confronts Dabi, and Dabi really starts to lose his fucking mind, and all his skin starts to burn away. Shoto and the other red shirts try to stop Dabi, but he is too strong, and he really slaps Shoto across both ass cheeks. However, Shoto unveils a new move he's been secretly perfecting just to take down Dabi. The ultimate combination of everything Shoto has been working on for the entire series that can... Whew, glad that's over. That is, until Dabi reaches his second phase and begins to go nuclear. Just then, the Kurogiri portals appear and Dabi gets teleported to where Endeavor is. Dabi grows hotter and hotter, and he's gonna explode any second now. Shoto, however, is still back at the first location, and he needs Ida's help to race across the country. They combine their powers and form an ice jet to speed over as quickly as possible. Yeah, can I get a... Ida? Right, sorry. Shoto manages to get there in time and hits him once more with his ultimate attack. Dabi has nothing left in the tank and is now just a skeleton, and this finally puts an end to Dabi and the Todoroki family drama. Okay, now we are on All For One, the original body. He's fighting with Endeavor, Hawks, and a bunch of red shirts. All For One rightfully calls them a bunch of extras and jobbers, but he is unaware of the chart, so no one is allowed to die on the good guy's side. Endeavor manages to burn All For One to a crisp, and it looks like he is finally about to die for real, but just then he activates his ace in the hole. Turns out, Dr. Robotnik gave All For One a MacGuffin injector thing that was based on Ares' rewind quirk. So All For One undoes all the damage that the heroes did to him and reverts back to his younger prime self. However, there is a drawback. While All For One might be all-powerful, All For One is going to keep rewinding forever until his eventual non-existence.
We'll all keep getting younger and younger until we suffer a fate worse than death. Pre-life, then death.
After thoroughly beating everyone's ass, All For One makes his way over to Shigaraki. He plans to transfer the duplicated All For One quirk into Shigaraki to permanently take over his mind and body. Man, it's been like 50 chapters since Bakugo died. Let's see how he's doing now. While on the way to Shigaraki, All For One spots All Might, who seems to be egging him on for a fight. If you want me, come and get me. I am here. Nice try, All Might, but I will achieve my perfect form first before... What's wrong? Afraid I'll kick your ass? Again? I know what you're trying to do, but I see right through your little... All For One? More like table for one, you bitchless loser. I'm telling you, it's not gonna work, and there's nothing you can say that'll... I'll fucking kill you! All Might successfully goads All For One into a fight, and he equips an Iron Man-like suit and becomes Iron Might. Quite possibly the most badass look for anyone in the entire show. This fight is awesome, and the Iron Man suit allows All Might to use tech that mimics all 20 of the students' quirks from Class 1A.
Black Whip, Charge Bolt, Cellophane, Sugar Man, Shoot Style, Smash! Auto Card, Tsukuyomi, Super Acid Injection, Pinky, Can't Stop Twinkling!
What about Class 1B? Get the fuck out of my face. All Might really gives All For One a beating, rewinding his age to that of a child. But tech can only take All Might so far, and eventually All For One finally manages... Don't forget about me! Stain is here to help! Manages to defeat All Might. He drags All Might's body to where the Shigaraki fight is happening. All For One lifts All Might into the air and begins to tear him in half. But just then, Bakugo's heart transplant succeeds and he finally gets back up. What the... Bakugo manages to save All Might from being ripped in half and has a few choice words for All For One. Hey kid, I took an internship with Endeavor over the winter, and you wanna know what I learned? What's that? How to beat children with Mario Kart. Don't you mean how to beat children at Mario Kart? I'm the Demon Lord, you can't do this to me. All For One says fuck this and decides to end it all by doing an Akira, using every single quirk stored in him at the same time. Before One For All can really get going, Bakugo hits him with his most powerful explosive attack, followed by a JoJo-esque Aura barrage of explosions.
You shut the hell up! Get
This barrage of attacks manages to rewind All for One all the way to a baby. My Hero Academia sets out to finally answer the age-old question: who would win, hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby? Baby All for One does one final attack, launching a spear at Bakugo, but Bakugo blocks that shit with his fucking teeth. All for One has no more time left and rewinds into nothingness, finally killing him. Sheesh, that was a lot, but at least All for One is dead and we can now finally focus on Shigaraki. With no more interference from All for One ever again, right? Right? So going back to right after Shigaraki killed Bakugo, it's time for the sexy bunny girl to attack. For some reason, the author really likes to mutilate her body and she winds up losing practically all of her limbs. Think the Black Knight from Monty Python. But Shigaraki takes another beating from this torso and decides enough is enough and turns into this monstrosity. His new form makes him super defensive, so Torso Lady and the other red shirts can't do anything anymore. The hero's HQ tells Lemillion to distract Shigaraki for 2 seconds so they can lower the barrier to let someone in. Lemillion can't think of anything until he remembers he has a dump truck ass and hits him with the... This ass blasting actually works, and Deku finally shows up and unveils his final quirk called Gear Shift, using the power of family. He's able to deal tremendous damage to All for One. But that damn hyper-regeneration thing is back, and no matter how much damage Deku does, nothing sticks for long. Nothing is working, so Deku and his ghost friends come up with a new plan. They're gonna transfer One for All into Shigaraki willingly, but do it hard as fuck. So the force of the quirk transfer will also strike Shigaraki's psyche and break open his subconscious to save the crying child Tenko version of Shigaraki. Man, who wrote this? This dumbass plan actually works, and Deku enters Shigaraki's mind palace, and he catches a glimpse of the darkness that's been inside Shigaraki this whole time. What dreams of chronic and sustained cruelty. Deku finally gets to where Tenko is and arrives at the memory of the tragic origin story of when Tenko killed his family. Deku jumps in front of Tenko and gets his arms decayed off, but manages to talk no jutsu Tenko into stopping the whole destroying everything plan. And that's the end of the fight. But right before things are settled once and for All for One rears his ugly head again because of course he's still alive in Horcrux form. He reveals to Tenko that everything bad that has ever happened to him was all part of his master plan. The decay quirk, killing his family, and even Tenko's father's abuse was all orchestrated by him. This revelation is so traumatic to Tenko that it breaks his mind, and All for One assumes complete control of Tenko's body. All for One achieves his final form, and it's probably his worst design so far, not gonna lie. Deku forgot that when you lose your arm in the dream, you lose your arms in real life, and is halfway to joining Stumpy over there. Just when all hope seems lost, Deku hears, "On your left." Yeah, all of Class 1A and a bunch of other red shirts join the fray and all try to take on All for One. They also brought Deku a change of clothes and a piece of Eri's horn that they used to rewind Deku to right before he lost his arms. Wow, it was so sweet of Eri to give you guys a piece of her horn like that. Right. Give. Those sons of bitches took my horn! That is definitely what happened. Deku no longer has One for All, since he transferred it all into All for One. But he still has the residual embers just like All Might did. Okay, so this is it. All for One uses the last of his power to fight the last of the heroes, and Deku has to do one final punch to... Deku has one last conversation with Tenko. Looks like I finally saved you, Tenko. I mean, I'm dying, but sure, whatever you say. Got any last words? If Spinner is still alive, tell him this. Spinner, when I first met you, I thought you were lame and annoying. But... no, that was it. Peace out, loser. I gave up One for All forever to save that guy? And thus, the day was saved by Deku and all the heroes of Japan. Nice to know the rest of the world didn't lift a finger to help. America wins yet again. And finally, we have reached the conclusion of My Hero Academia, and boy oh boy, what a conclusion it is. When this ending dropped, it caused so much controversy that people are still talking about it to this day. And it has joined the ranks of its other new-gen anime brethren with rushed and terrible endings. Okay, so it starts off with your standard happy ending stuff. Things go back to normal, everyone recovers from the war, Japan is repaired, and society as a whole is better. Mickey Mouse shit. So where's the controversy? Well, it's really the final chapter that's the problem. There is an 8-year time skip, and in those 8 years, Deku had to prematurely retire from being a hero and is now working as a teacher at UA High School. Deku lost One For All permanently and is back to being quirkless. Ochako and Deku never officially got together, and neither did any of the other ships in Class 1A for that matter. All Might shows up at the very end to give Deku his own Iron Man power suit funded by Class 1A that allows him to be a hero again. Deku jumps into the sunset with his friends, and then the manga is officially over. I was gonna go into this huge rant breaking down exactly why this ending caused such a ruckus, but this video is long enough as it is, and my hands are gonna fall off from all these drawings I had to make. So instead, I'm just gonna throw up my script on screen and you can pause and read them in little chunks. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go! And that is the end of My Hero Academia. Overall, the show has its problems, and I mean it really has its problems, mostly stemming from its gigantic and bloated cast. Most of the villains kind of suck when you think about it, and there are tons of plot lines that had super unsatisfying conclusions, like the entire plot line with Kurogiri that I didn't even mention in this video. But when this show hits the mark, it knocks it out of the park. There are just these moments where everything comes together and it's this wonderful and super exciting piece of art that inspires and resonates with you in such a way that if I was a kid when this anime came out, it would be just as core to my very being as something like Dragon Ball Z or Bleach or Yu Yu Hakusho. Really dating myself with that one. The character designs are great for the most part, the music is incredible, the art is godlike in the manga, and the animation in the anime is jaw-dropping in certain moments. Plus, the idea of quirks in general is cool, and inventing your own is a fun way to pass the time. My quirk would be the ability to make people subscribe to my channel just by looking at them. Subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to check out my brand new Patreon. If you don't know, these drawings and animations take an insanely long time to make. So by joining today, you'll not only be directly funding the production of more badly explaining videos, but you'll get all kinds of perks and goodies like early access to ad-free versions of my videos, getting your name in the end credits, and exclusive cut content like the original cut of my badly explaining Bleach video with an additional 7.5 minutes of hand-drawn footage you can't see on YouTube. That's almost double the length of the version that's on YouTube. So join today and get access to all that stuff right now with even more exciting stuff coming in the near future. Link is on screen and in the description down below. Thank you for your support and I appreciate every single one of you. I read every comment and each one makes doing these videos all worth it. Subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my...
Have a rotten day.